Hey fam, the sun is about to go down and I had promised to do a couple of videos, so I said let me start working on one of them, and the one I wanted to do now is about single parenting, right? Ooh, not even single parenting period is the hardest job, the most important job we could ever have. And people take it so lightly. People act like babies are dolls or something, where you can put them down when you get tired, or you don't have to financially take care of them because they're going to be sitting in a corner somewhere looking cute and they don't have any needs. People think that you're going to just parade your child around and everybody tells you how cute they are, but there's not going to be no trials that go along with it, like you staying up all night or going through postpartum, or maybe even having a child that have behavioral problems. We don't think about the cons of parenting, right? And sometimes we don't even think about being a parent at all. We're just enjoying the moment, and you all know what I'm talking about. We are just enjoying the connection and not even thinking that a baby, a life can be formed through that. And then when it is formed, what happens is a lot of men don't want the child. A lot of times women don't want the child either. But we have the task of deciding to have that baby ripped from your body, which in itself is daunting, it's scary, and it's very sad and it's depressing. And I also just found out that abortions can cause fibroids because there is tissue from that child. I don't want to talk too much about it because I'm not as knowledgeable about that topic as I should be, so I don't want to share too much and give false information. But I recently heard from somebody who is knowledgeable about it say that a lot of women have fibroids because they had abortions. I'm like, wow, it's a link to that. So there's so much that goes with that. The Father says to multiply. He said to be fruitful and multiply. So when you go against what he told you to do, there are going to be some repercussions from that. And there's depression from it and sadness, and there's a lot of regret. There's a lot that goes along with that. So a lot of women don't want to endure that. They'd rather be a single mom, knowing that it's going to be hard. They keep their baby. And so now you're a single mom, and you have to do everything alone. It's hard when two parents are there. It is hard. That child depends on each of you for every one of its needs, right? And you're not yourself anymore. You don't belong to yourself anymore. Your time, your attention, your body, your sleep, everything is up in the air because it's all based on what that baby wants, that baby's needs. And so now you're living in a whole different headspace. The game is different. And to do it alone, there are some single fathers, but we all know the majority of us been raised by a single mom. So this is for the single mothers. I was a single mother. Did not start out that way. I was married and things did not work out. Okay, we were very young and we did not have the tools that we needed, either of us, to survive our marriage as young people. A lot of emotions get involved when you're young and you don't think clearly and you don't have the wisdom that you gain later on. And so end up being a single mom. Now let me tell you something. It was hard and I wanted to be a mom. I desired to be a mom. And so even with me wanting to be a mom and enjoying being a mother, it was still hard doing it alone because guess what? I did not create them by myself. And I had a lot of trials that, I had to endure as a single mother. And it was pretty lonely. It was lonely because, like I said, when you're creating that baby, you're not in that bed alone. And so it's not natural to raise children alone. My boo-boo is coming. I had to move because somebody was smoking weed and I didn't want to smell that. I said that when you come out the store, you're going to be like, where did she go? They're smoking weed, boo. Wow. I was like, what's the matter? Why people can't wait till they get home?
Wait.
I'm recording. It's okay. Oh, you got the sticks?
This the kind?
This is, I think this is, oh, yeah, it says vegan.
I want to make sure of that, but...
What did they use, though? It doesn't say, what, where you see that at? Maybe I don't see coconut. I don't have my glasses. Oh, yeah, you're right. In the ingredients. Oh, cashews.
Yeah.
Okay, boo.
They ain't had the one you got.
Okay, this is different. All right, I think I've seen this before. I thought it was actual butter. Okay, that's cool. You want to ride back over there, or?
I'm going to go back in there when I get there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, family. I'm sorry. My boo-boo is breezing through town, so he comes first. I'm going to finish up the video, though. Being a single parent, it comes with so many hardships, and especially if you don't have enough money. Doing it alone is the hardest task, because children have needs. They grow constantly. They grow when they're first born, and up until the time that they stop growing, they're breezing through clothes and sneakers and shoes and coats and things like it ain't nothing. So you are constantly shopping. Their needs must be met. They can't go around looking crazy. So you do anything and everything you can do to make sure they have everything they need. Then when they go to school, they have to have school supplies. They always have something that they need. Then as they get older, they have desires too, And if your child is good to go, you want to take care of those desires of theirs as well, if they're a good child. But you dealing with children alone is so hard. It's a lot on you mentally. Not to mention if you're single, as in not having a boyfriend. So you don't have that outlet of being with someone to care for you. You're doing all the caring, and no one's caring for you. And when you're a single mother, you rarely have time to care for yourself. And I know I'm talking to the choir. I'm singing to the choir or preaching to the choir. That's what it is. Preaching to the choir, right, boo? Yep. Because if you're a single parent, you know what it's like. It is not easy. And a lot of us do not do a good job at it because it's so hard. I'm not making excuses for you, because you should not be neglectful with your child. And it's a lot. And a lot of times, everybody is not equipped mentally for it. And so children get neglected, children get abused, children are not wanted, and people just pass them off to the grandmother. There were so many grandmothers coming up to the school when I had my children. They were in school age, in elementary. There were so many grandmothers raising children because mothers were on drugs or they just left. And we always say mothers, right? We forget that there's a dad. The dad he's just non-existent. He was there to create that baby, but he's non-existent because that child is just, the mother. And when things go wrong, it's the mom. We have so much on our chest, so much on our shoulders, and the burden is heavy. It is extremely heavy. A lot of women are depressed, going through postpartum. Some women end up killing their children. It's a hard task to do alone. And as I said, I experienced some trials being a parent. And I wanted my children. I adored them. When me and their dad separated and he would take them for a summer, I would miss them and not want them to go. That's how I was so fascinated with being a mom. I enjoyed my daughters. They didn't give me a hard time when they were young. They were pretty well behaved. And I enjoyed playing with them. I enjoyed teaching them. I enjoyed watching them grow. They were my pride and joy, and still are. And so I enjoyed it. Even enjoying motherhood, it doesn't make the job less exhausting. Because everything you do, you have to consider your children before you do it, if you're a good parent. And sometimes people get selfish and they say, you know what, I need to do something for me. And I totally get it. Because as I said, once you have children, you're not yours anymore. You're not free to do the things that you did before your children came. You are not. They need your full, complete, and total attention. And if you're doing it by yourself, there's no freedom for you. There is no freedom for you. It's all about them. In every way. When they get sick, You're the nurse. When they're fighting, you're refereeing those fights. When they have things going on at school, you got to be up to that school. And I was a mother that was very present as far as my children's schooling was concerned. I was always there. I was on the PTA. I was up in there, okay, all up in the mix, because that's the kind of mama I was. And if I was home, I wasn't working when they were really young, I would make sure I participate. Going on the trips with them, helping the teacher in the classroom and stuff like that. You know, as far as getting them ready for their trips and stuff like that. And a lot of the teachers were like, you should be a teacher. I was like, no. I give teachers high respect, honey. Y'all got to deal with the crazy parents.
You was a teacher for the old folks.
I was a teacher for the old folks? What you mean?
When you was, helping the old folks at the place.
That's not a teacher, boo. I was caring for them. And that goes into what I'm saying as well, because that's all I did. I was always a caregiver. Even the jobs I had, a nursing assistant, a home attendant, caring for the mentally delayed. I was always caring for someone else. And it's funny, I felt fine. I felt like the Energizer bunny up until I turned 40. And I probably went through my midlife crisis around that time. And I met this man at that time. And that's when I began to be selfish. I said, you know what? I meet this man, and we were on the phone. We were on the phone all day, right, boo? We used to be on the phone all day. I never talked to a man so long in my life. We were literally on the phone almost every day, all day, because that year that he and I met, I didn't work. I took off from work and everything. I felt like everything came crashing down on me at 40. And my daughters didn't even recognize me. They was like, Mommy, what's wrong with you? What's the matter? You're not the same. And I just said, I'm tired. And they took it as, I'm tired of being their mother. And at that time, they were 20 and 18. So they were grown. They were grown. And around that time is when they were head to head, because they're two girls and they're arguing and stuff. I was tired of that. Then I started to be like, oh God, I can't wait for them to get grown and they get out. I'm tired. I'm tired. You know? And seriously though, I really thought about it, and I had to tell them, I had to explain to them. I said, listen, I love y'all. I gave y'all everything I had, and I did it by myself. Y'all need to recognize and understand that. And of course they do now, because they're moms and their children are young. Their children are young, so they get it now. You ever hear your parents say, you're going to find out when you get older. You'll see when you get older. It be the truth. It be the truth. Because when you experience it, then you will say, wow, my mom was a trooper. She did that. Because I did that. I loved them, and I did give them my all. But like I said, when I got to 40, I don't know if I was going through a midlife crisis. That's kind of what it felt like, and also menopause. So a lot was going on with me emotionally, and my hormones were changing and stuff like that. And when I met Moses, he was my fun spot. He was way in Florida, and I was in New York, and he and I were on the phone, and it was a joy to just communicate with the opposite sex. I had been single and celibate. By the time I met you, I must have been celibate for maybe
1,000 years.
Stop. About 8 years when I met him. By the time I met him, I was celibate for like 8 years at that time. Let me see. I gotta do the math. 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. 8 years, yes. I had been celibate for 8 years. And I had dated here and there just to have the company of men. I did a video about my celibacy with you guys, for you guys. If you didn't see it, go look for it and check it out. But so by the time he came along, it was just nice to have somebody's attention. And he wasn't typical. He wasn't like most men, just talking trash. We never even talked like that. He didn't talk to me like that. We talked about a lot of stuff. World events, our family, Christianity, portals. We were talking about portals and stuff because he was telling me about the portals, and I never heard this stuff. I learned a lot from him, and I'm sure he learned a lot from me. Conversation just flowed. We laughed like teenagers. Really, it was really nice. And I felt like something, I was being fed after feeding all the time. Giving. It felt like somebody was giving me and pouring into me. Although that wasn't our time to be together, because we didn't actually come together until another 7 years later. But here we are 7 years together now. But back to the parenting thing, man. You know, a lot of times when you're a woman and you're parenting alone, like I said, how he made me feel, and we were not even physical together. He was in another whole nother state, but just the attention and somebody focusing. Why? And somebody focusing on you for a change, and you focusing on yourself and what you want. You know, that was beautiful to me. I hadn't done that since I became a mom. I hadn't done that for myself since I became a mom. And I guess my daughters were a little spoiled because they were not used to it. They were like, what? Like, what's going on here? Mom, you're not going to go to work? Mom, you on the phone every day with this man? Yes, mommy needed some attention. Mommy needed some me time. I needed some focusing on what my desires were, because I had not done that for years. And as a caregiver, I'm on the job, I'm wiping butts, I'm lifting people, I'm pushing wheelchairs, I'm coming home, I'm caring for my daughters. I didn't care for me. I did not care for me. And I didn't notice it until I got to that point when I turned 40. So men, if any men are listening, I'm just trying to appeal to you for you to understand that when you make a baby with a woman and you just walk off into the sunset, you have no idea what's going to happen to your child, because some women cannot take it. It is a lot to bear on your shoulders by yourself. And so I'm pleading with you to intervene. Be some type of relief, some type of help for the woman. You helped her create that baby. Go to her, take that child, spend time with your child, help her financially, give her a break, because a lot of women are having mental breakdowns and they're in depression. You cannot take care of a child correctly if you're not there. If you're messed up, you cannot take care of a child. And it's a lot. I'm watching my niece and my eldest daughter, because, you know, we all live together. And they are good moms, and I'm watching them, and they're doing it alone, and it's not easy. They're learning now that your time is not your own. You can't just say, you know what, I want to do ABC and, you know, bump that baby and just do whatever. You cannot do that. And so young women talking about, oh, I'm getting baby fever, because you see the beautiful child all dressed up, smiling, and they are delicious. Yes, they are. You see them smiling in the picture, and you say, oh my God, I have baby fever. I think I want me a baby. They are not a pocketbook that you're going to go to the store and pick up off the rack because they cute. It's not a joke taking care of a child, okay? More or less 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, because a lot of mothers have plenty of children. Whew, Lord have mercy. God bless them, because I don't know, 2 was good enough for me. I always say I had a left hand and a right hand, or a child for each hand. I couldn't do no more. I would have liked to have more, though. I wanted 4 children. We too old for that, right, boo? We too old for that. Oh, Lord, don't let it happen. Ooh. My daughter liked to joke around and go, Mommy, what if you get pregnant? I'm like, girl, shut your mouth. Don't even play. Don't even play. Too old for that mess. I'm happy to be a grandmother. I'm happy to see my daughters doing, you know, raising their children and loving on them like that, you know. And it's not easy. It is not easy. You know, you want to be able to just go out with your friends. And that's what I did. Before their father moved out of town, he had them every other weekend. And as a young adult, that was my first time actually being able to go out and party. I never went to parties as a teenager because my mama wasn't having it, right? So I had a little bit of freedom. I said, okay, they're not here. I might as well go out. And I love to dance. And so I used to go out dancing with my friends and stuff like that. And I had a good time. And that didn't even last long, because the Lord was like, this is not what you're going to do. So at 27, I ended up ending that party life, and took myself to church and raised my children in a godly fashion. Yes, honey. God was like, yeah, you think you're going to be partying and doing nothing? Nope, not going to happen. So, I mean, I did my little thing. I had my little freedom. I I met guys here and there, wanting the company. I had a couple of boyfriends, and when I decided to be celibate, I met a couple of guys over the years here and there, dated, and they disappeared because I asked the Lord to remove them. If they were not for me, remove them, and he did. And so then it got boring to me, and I just stayed to myself up until the time that I met Moses. And I told you guys, I promised to do a video in reference to our relationship and how it budded and how we got to this point. So I'm going to do that another time. I got to figure out just how much I'm going to tell you, because I'm not the type to tell personal stuff, not too deeply personal, because it ain't none of your business, as I told y'all before. I think people do too much for likes, for subscription, and I'm not that type. I'm here to share my wisdom about certain things and try to help us as a people to focus on bettering ourselves, and loving one another better. That's my whole desire. So it's not about telling you salacious, juicy, nasty stories about my adventures in fornication or crazy stuff like that. That stuff is not cute. So I don't find that important to share. I might mention certain things because I'm trying to get a point across to you, right? To share some wisdom or something, but to go deep into what I did exactly, specifically, is ridiculous. It's ridiculous, and that's not who I am. That's not who I am. I'm not a kisser and a teller. And that stuff is old, because I am a new creature in Christ. And so that's not even me anymore. So those are not things that I have to share because I want people to subscribe or like. No. Like I said, my whole duty for this YouTube is for me to share wisdom, to help you better yourself, and to think about some of the things that maybe you're not thinking about. Because sometimes we need to have somebody point things out to us for us to be aware of them. And that's what I'm here to do, family. And single mothers, don't give up. Cry your tears, because I remember doing that. I cried when my children went to sleep, and they were like, "Mommy, we never saw you cry," until one day they did, and they were like, I cried secretly. I never wanted my children to see me hurt. I never wanted them to feel unsafe and insecure. And so when I cried, I did it at night, and I talked to the Lord about it. And the Lord came through for me the entire time I was raising my daughters. When I was involved in church, that probably was the best thing I could have ever done, because I ended up singing in a group, and that took up so much of my time, and it got me to use my gift, share my gift, that I didn't even have an idea that I had a gift like that until people pulled it out of me. To tell you the truth, I had a singing family, and I used to always admire them, but I didn't think I had the gift. And once I realized I had the gift, I took the babies everywhere with me, and we would do concerts every weekend at a church or something. It was awesome. To tell you the truth, my focus was on using my gift to please the Lord, and my babies were there to see and watch mommy living her life for the Lord. And so, like I said, me going to church and giving my life to God and raising my children there, that was probably the best thing I could have ever done. I'm telling you, because it gave me balance, and it gave me security. It gave me reassurance, and it gave me hope, and I found my joy there, serving the Lord. And so I may not be a Christian anymore. I don't call myself a Christian. I know who I am biblically. I'm an Israelite, and so that's what I share, the truth in the gospel of the Bible, not a religion. I don't represent religion anymore, but I'm not gonna ever, put up my nose, I was in that church. Honey, it was where I needed to be at that time. Thank the Lord. My journey led me to this point. And it was a journey, you had to travel to get to a certain point in life. And I have no regrets. Bless the Lord. And the man that I'm with right now, he was the one that introduced me to that truth. To this truth. To the truth of the Bible. And I'm going to share another video. I don't want this one to be too long, family. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe. Please share. Check out some of my other videos, okay? And like if you like it. And if you don't like it, then dislike it. You know, just do something. Give me a little traffic over here, okay? I'm not going to steer you wrong. I said that once before. I'm not about that life of doing negativity. I'm all about positivity. And, you know, I understand that the Lord is watching me and I have a job to do. So I'm trying to do it well. All right, family. Peace, love, and blessings to you.